right now, if you were to look at it, play-in tournament in the West would have Dallas, New Orleans, the Lakers, and those Utah Jazz who just won't be sorry like everybody thought they were supposed to be. But anyway, the Warriors right now are a game and a half out of play-in territory. That's its own discussion. But if the Warriors got into that, I got to say, buddy, that is one intriguing play-in tournament you got there. And whoever does not survive that play-in tournament, whoo, buddy, somebody should be getting fired.
I mean, well, if you see LeBron's tweets today, somebody might be getting fired. You didn't see LeBron's tweet this morning?
Yeah, what did he say about Darvin?
He didn't say nothing about Darvin. He just tweeted sands of an hourglass.
Oh, here we go.
His time running out? The Lakers' time running out?
Go.
Time running out to make a trade? Yeah, Bo, that's where we at. It is that time of year. It is that time of year.
Is LeBron passive aggressive trade request season? So what kind of trade can they make?
Well, they can trade D'Angelo Russell, a player who's played remarkably well, all things considered, right? And maybe you can get DeJounte Murray. There doesn't seem like a whole lot of interest in bringing in Zach LaVine and his contract. Both of those players are clutch, right? Like Death Row West, clutch sports, right? That's what it is. Look, East Coast is CAA. That's bad boy, right? That's what that is. That's Puff Daddy and Biggie over there, right? With Leon. Wait, who's Biggie and who's Puffy over there, right? I don't know.
I mean, Leon Rose got to be Puffy, right?
Yeah. Well, it's Worldwide. Who's Worldwide West then?
Oh, that's a very good question. That's a very good question, but you're right though. It is definitely like it's clicks out here between the Knicks and the Lakers. You're right about this.
But my question is, and this is said with the backdrop of LeBron being having a player option for this offseason and then wanting to play with his son. All these sort of conflicting agendas, right? LeBron's numbers look great. Anthony Davis looks like a legitimate two-way superstar. Looks like one of the great defensive players in the league. And the numbers back that up because the Lakers are a top 10 defense. But how far are you going with LeBron at his usage, even though the numbers look good? And once again, you are a bottom 10 offense when your best offensive player is LeBron James. Is that a recipe for winning a championship? And if it's not, and you're going to continue this LeBron-Lakers sort of partnership, it feels like there needs to be some sort of alteration to the plan. And not just bringing in a regular trade.
Is this Darvin's fault or is this a roster situation? Like, I think, because I see a lot of people putting this on Ham in the lineups that he trots out there. But I still feel like the counting stats for LeBron James are unreal, right? Like, it is mind-blowing that he puts up the counting stats that he does in this era. A point I was making on Twitter the other day that went over just as you would expect is that we can't really look at these counting stats the same way in this era of inflated statistics. Like, it's more difficult to evaluate that. You go to the advanced stats, they're great for somebody his age. They are not just flatly great. Like, Anthony Davis is giving you something closer to flatly great than LeBron James is at this point. So I think your question is, how good can you be with LeBron as the centerpiece of what they got? And my question is, if we are assuming that you can still be very good with LeBron as the centerpiece, I'm asking, what can you do to make this team better? Because I don't see it. Like, I personally thought people got way too hyped about the dudes that were on that roster in last year's postseason, because they still seem to me to be a bunch of just dudes. And I'm looking at their names right now, and they look like a bunch of dudes. And I'm looking at their stats, and they look like a bunch of dudes.
I mean, think about all the inflection points in last year's run, the remarkable run to the Western Conference Finals. And I say remarkable in quotations, right? If not for Lonnie Walker IV having the fourth quarter of his mother bleeping life against Golden State in Game 4, that series might turn out different. And that was not a vintage Golden State team. That was a Golden State team where Klay Thompson disappeared. If not for the Memphis Grizzlies having epic brain farts and moments that shows young and dumb, right? And granted, every team benefits from circumstances like that in the playoffs, but they got a lot of real estate for getting swept by the Denver Nuggets. They were the one team that Denver did sweep in last year's playoffs. And yet and still they got more credit outgoing than everybody else. And that's why in part you saw Denver out here flexing because they like, we swept that team. And Anthony Davis played some of the best basketball of his life. Bo, can you imagine how deflating it has to be and to be playing against that dude and you're playing some of the best defense? I was there for all 4 games, Bo. Hands in his face. He was doing everything possible and it meant nothing. He's never been able to say that in his life against Jokic. He's never been able to say it in his life. I did everything right. It's like that Kanye West Kobe Bryant commercial. How many records can my records break? How much more can I do? More. What?
Same
You're
animal,
welcome.
but
Series
a different
over.
beast. Yo, that exactly. We treated Anthony Davis like he was a different beast, but the same animal. And you're probably thinking the same thing Kanye was thinking in that moment. What the fuck does that mean, Kobe Bryant? But it's just what it is.
And to make matters worse, Bo, you're right about the play-in because you've got all these teams who have a player who can steal a game. Luka can steal a game. Zion Williamson can steal a game. Steph can steal a game. You have all these dudes, which is why I have petitioned to the NBA. You know, but I officially petitioned to the league years ago to bring the finals logo back, to bring the final script back, and I was on them for years until they brought it back. So I've been petitioning to the league to bring back 5-game first-round series. Can you imagine Steph in a short series?
They need it. The 7-game series was such a bad idea. They just got greedy, right? Like the 5-game series adds an intrigue that they need. It adds an excitement that they need. And I also think for you to be a champion, you should be able to show that you can get off the blocks and that you can win like one of these super long series. But Steph in a short series would be something. And God knows they need the help. Like, I'm going to ask you this, and I'm not trying to be too dramatic about this because I find myself as the guy that be hunting, you know, like I said about Pop. I just don't think there's any excuse for them to be as bad as they are, that he's looking like Bill Belichick. And I don't know why people treat that like it's controversial. The Spurs fans be like, well, they've got a long plan. How long is the plan? The plan been going for a long ass time. How long? I mean, Oklahoma City, they had a long plan and look at where they are right now, right? Last year, Oklahoma City was 40-42. That was the 3rd year they missed the playoffs, but they went to the play-in. They were 40-42. So what are we doing here, right? But with a still pretty good to very good Steph Curry, because this is not 2016 Steph Curry. I don't even think this is 2021 Steph Curry, but it's still a really good player, a version of Steph Curry. Like I said the other day, LeBron was still a pretty good player, and that may have been too far. He's probably still a very good player, but he's not a great player at this point. Steph, to me, is not like a top 5 guy anymore, but you still should go to the playoffs with him. PrizePicks is the most fun you can have by winning up to 25 times your own money. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. PrizePicks is really simple to play. You can make your picks and submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. So make sure you go to prizepicks.com/Bomani and use code Bomani for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/Bomani. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy.